OWI just held a playtest that debuted the new map layer and faction voting system. Total snooze fest, right? Wrong. Turns out, sneaky ol' OWI has been quietly implementing a few really interesting ideas here, some of which are going to have a profound impact on the way your squad pubs play. Altogether, it functions like a supplemental planning phase. I'm speculating, but I see this as being very good for my fellow teamwork enjoyers out there. As far as first impressions go, I'm into it. I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to fix some of my gripes with the staging phase. So, while everyone else is distracted talking about the very minor tweaks to G3 sway and the new vehicles, I'll be serving up the red meat, baby. Let's hop in and check out a few rounds of voting.
Let's go.
What are we voting
Yeah,
for?
all
is the
invasion.
question.
Oh wow, how nice.
Reroll!
Narva.
Great.
Hell no.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mute that. So, broadly speaking, all the voting is a pretty straightforward and smooth process. I love a clean interface, and this was a relief, because sometimes the deploy menu and the map interface make me want to pull my hair out. The way it works is you'll be presented with a selection of maps and layers, which both teams will vote on all at once with the option for one re-roll. The biggest change here is, spoiler, a soft integration of Squadlanes. More on that in a bit. After the map is selected, Team 1 gets to choose its faction out of 4 choices, again with one reroll. Then the second team gets 4 new choices, and they get to pick. In total, the process takes about 2 to 3 minutes, give or take 90 seconds, based on how many rerolls get used. Yeah, you heard that right. OWI is finally going to let you pee in between rounds. During all this, local chat goes team-wide. Just imagine the strategizing, the banter, the endless flaming about who's responsible for throwing the last round. I'm stoked. Buckle up and lower your volume. Hopefully OWI has noticed this, but when the entire team is talking at once, it hard clips the audio really bad. Something should be done there, be it compression, volume throttling, anything really. It's kinda awful.
Oh, the new FAL. Aww.
Oh yeah.
Well, get ready to start memorizing how many tanks the 69th Royal Expeditionary Battalion gets, because being able to choose the asset matchup is going to be huge. I'm wondering how much of an advantage the second team is going to have here as they get to know what enemy vehicles they'll be up against before they pick. Off the cuff, I imagine most people are going to favor stacking as many MBTs as they can. I think OWI anticipated this a while ago, which is why they added the MGS into the game, which should give the factions with lighter loadouts a little bit more punch. I can see scenarios where your Ace Armor crew gets tasked with using the MGS to tank hunt, while the rest of the team is collectively biting their nails while trying to peep the enemy Abrams. If you're the Russian airborne VDV going up against a ground force which has 2 tanks, maybe you split all your anti-tank kits between 2 helis and try to snipe their MBTs right out of the gate. If you pull it off, a play like that could potentially carry you through the entire mid-game. Seriously though, this is awesome. One of my gripes with the staging phase is that it was typically a giant fustercluck. Don't get me wrong, that's still going to be the case, but perhaps slightly less so, because you'll all have had a minute to ponder the asset list and think about how you want to play it. That's probably my favorite aspect to this. Remember, you'll still have your previous squad mates in squad chat with you, and you can mute everyone else with a single button push. As a squad leader, I love it, because I'll be able to get all the homies on the same page before anyone even loads in.
The game has
So if
7,
we
8
could
game
choose our
modes, but it
cap
really has
points to
3 game
defend,
modes.
it would completely fix random advanced and secure squad lane issue.
It would, honestly. Squadlanes is fucking cringe.
Now this is pretty big. As far as I can tell, this is basically just squad lanes. I have made my preference for less predictable flags pretty clear, but it looks like OWI has made an executive decision on the matter. Squad lanes for all, no alt-tabbing necessary. I hope the guy that made the website at least got his cut of the weapon skins money. As far as I can guess, this is going to speed up the early game. Mid-cap rushing with helis and fob spam around predictable areas is going to be a staple of the RAS meta. If you can't beat them, join them. And then beat them. How about this? Have most of the team hold their spawn while you rush a heli with 1 SL and 1 soon-to-be very numb digger to the mid-cap. You build a single hab, and wham, you just teleported your entire team to West Novo. That just seems dumb to me, but I guess we'll find out. I guess I just don't see much difference between these midpoints. I'm going to be quick building the same fob regardless of which of these 3 flags spawn in. Maybe if we had a spoiler in there, an oddball spawn that 25% of the time comes in as a giant curveball and puts the leapfroggers out of position. Regarding invasion, it's currently not very clear who's going to be attacking, and that makes a pretty big difference when picking factions. I heard that Team 1 is always going to be the attacking side, but I couldn't tell if that was a rumor or if it came from the devs. If you notice in that first round, we got to be the invading militia force, which was awesome. I love it when the good guys get to go on the offensive. Those elitist dogs will be forced to watch as I use grad strikes to turn their precious Petrivka suburbs into rubble. I was really hoping to pull off a world-first militia win as attackers, but that honor is still up for grabs. Honestly, who knows how this will all play out, but I can't help but be optimistic. At the very least, we should see more Blue 4 v Blue 4, which is everyone's favorite, US Marines against the US Army, the Canucks against the Aussies. Let's go, boys. The main concern I have is that this will lead to fewer map and faction variations. Whichever the most popular ones wind up being will likely see the most play. Some of my viewers out there might be familiar with the concept tyranny of the majority, which might wind up being the issue here. Yes, wisdom in the masses, blah blah blah. But a wise man once said,
because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.